Hello, my name's Alicia and I'm a children's occupational therapist at Bromley Healthcare. Today I'm going to give you some tips to help your child to develop their pre-writing skills. We're going to discuss what pre-writing skills are, why they're important, and provide practical strategies for both at home and at school. So, what are pre-writing skills? Pre-writing skills are the fundamental skills that we need to learn in order for us to be able to write. It's important for us to learn pre-writing skills as it helps us to develop our colouring, drawing and our printing of numbers and letters. Pre-writing skills are comprised of four main areas, so we have upper body strength, developing a hand dominance, holding a writing utensil and pre-writing shapes. And in the video we're going to cover what each of those components is and why it's important. So, upper body strength. This is important as it helps us to be able to sit upright and hold a pencil. This emerges as toddlers and children engage in movement activities. In the first few months of life, a baby might lay on their tummy and push up on their arms. This continues to develop as children learn to crawl and to climb. It's really important that children are given regular opportunities to engage in activities which are going to help develop their upper body strength. So the park is a prime example of this. So for example, a climbing activity not only works on a child's core strength, but also develops the strength in their wrists and their shoulders, which is required for writing. Other examples include animal walks, wheelbarrow races, learning to swim, and obstacle courses. So it's really important when learning to write that we establish a dominant hand. We don't generally establish a dominant hand until around the age of 5, and there are plenty of activities that we can be practicing to help us develop this skill. So for example, posting activities and threading activities are really good. Activities such as baking, arts and crafts and puzzles are also really good ideas. Holding a pencil. When we're learning to write, it's important that we find a pencil or a writing utensil that works for us. We might not be able to hold a pencil straight away, but there are activities that can help us to establish a more comfortable position when holding a pencil. So when we're learning to write, we might establish something called a pincer grasp. Okay, so the pincer grasp is made up of our thumb, our index, or also known as our pointer finger, and our middle finger. You don't have to use a pencil straight away. You could use things like finger paints to help identify these fingers. So for example, my thumb is in red, my index or my pointer finger is in blue, and my middle finger is in green. Right, now we're just going to have a look at 3 different writing utensils that your child can use other than a pencil when they're learning to draw. So the first utensil I'm going to show you is what we call easy grip chalk. So here I'm using my thumb, my index finger and my middle finger to hold the chalk. So I'm going to use this to draw a square. Next thing I'm going to show you is what we call finger crayons. So I'm just going to pop my index finger in the crayon and I'm going to use it to draw one of our pre-writing shapes, the circle. What you could also use is finger paints. So you could use the finger paint to just trace around the shape like this. So, pre-writing shapes. These are required because they make up all of the strokes of the letters and numbers. These pre-writing shapes generally develop in sequence and at certain ages, as seen from the picture. However, it is important to note that children develop at their own pace and therefore the ages shown are just a guide. So, some children find forming their pre-writing shapes and learning to write more difficult. It's important that when we're learning, we make it as motivating as possible. So we can use a variety of creative materials to make learning fun and engaging. At this stage, there's no right or wrong. The most important part is that your child is happy to make the marks. Thank you for watching. I hope you found some useful tips. Please see our websites for the related advice sheets.